Hey kids, back with another one. These are some tough problems in lessons 21, 22, 23 in Module 6, end of the year, 5th grade. And the objective is to make sense of complex multi-step problems and persevere in solving them. Don't give up. They are really tough. Best way to do that is to share and critique peer solutions. That means talk with your friends, tell them what they did right and maybe what they could do differently or better. Let's get started. Now, this Hewlett's carpet question is going to have work everywhere. It's just a huge, big problem. So prepare to write small. Sharpen your pencils. The Hewlett's family is buying carpet for 2 rooms. Very real-world question. The dining room is a square that measures 12 feet on each side. The den is 9 yards by 5 yards. Notice the different measurement there. Mrs. Hewitt has budgeted $2,650 for carpeting both rooms. The green carpet she is considering costs $42.75 per square yard. And the brown carpet's price is $4.95 per square foot. What are the ways, all the ways she can carpet the rooms and stay within her budget? That means below $2,650. Okay, that's her budget. So we have to do a few things to kind of set this up, make sense of the numbers, and get everything on the same page. What does that mean? It means that I need both measurements, both rooms, in feet and yards so that I can find the cost of both. So let's have a little drawing up here. Dining room is a square. Okay, so make a square. This is the DR. And it measures 12 feet on each side. 12 feet, 12 feet. Okay, now I'd also like to have my 12 feet in yards. So how many feet are in a yard? 3 feet. So if I have 12 divided by 3, then that will give me 4 yards. So then the den is 9 yards by 5 yards. So we've got this den 9 yards by 5 yards. If I have 4 yards, then the den is going to be bigger. And let's just do that over here. And we'll call this the den. And it's going to be 9 yards by 5 yards. Okay, and we also need to find the area. When you purchase carpet, you're going to basically take a room and you're going to be covering it in square units like this, so that you call this 1 square unit. And so it may be in feet and it may be in yards, and you just have to see which carpet you're going to be using. We have lots of options here, so you're going to be doing both. So let's go back to the problem. Always reread and see where to go next. So if I have my dining room and den, here's our budget. The green carpet she's considering costs $42.75 per square yard. So let's look at the rooms and see how much the area is for each one. So if I have my den, and then it would be the 9 by 5, and this is yards, then it would be 45 yards squared. And I have my dining room, and remember that's in feet. So when you convert 12 feet, then you get your 4 yards. And we're gonna use the yards. So it's a 4 by 4. And we get 16 yards squared. So now I have both rooms in yards. I'm gonna do the same thing with the feet. Or the feet. So let's do the dining room with the 12 by 12. And that's feet squared. And what about this one? Do we have a conversion? So how many feet would that be? 12, sorry. The 9 by 5, they're 3 feet in a yard. So 3 times 9 is 27 feet by 3 times 5 is 15. And so we need to do 27 by 15 so we can figure out how many feet that is. And let's do that up here. Let's just get it out of the way. I need double-digit multiplication. 7 times 5, 35. 10 and 13. 7 here. 1 times 2 here. Add those up. 10, 4. 405 feet squared. Okay, so I have my feet and I have my yards for the area for both rooms, which are labeled, so be super careful. Now, we have to look at the cost per square unit for each of the colored carpets. So if I want to take a look at the green, okay, the green carpet she's considering costs $42.75 per square yard. So let's take our $42.75 and we'll label this green. And let's say I want to, this is by the square yard, so I'm going to do the yards of the dining room. So I'm going to do 16 yards squared. Okay. So double digit multiply. 6 times 5, 30, 42, 43, 45, 12, 16, 24, 25. And you can hold it with a 0, and then we've got 1 times everything. So 5 and 7 and 2 and 4, and then add. And then 13, 14, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6. Don't forget about the decimal here. We're going to plop it right there. So that's going to be the $684 for the dining room. And so this is the DR in green carpet. Okay, so just label everything very carefully. Now for the den, we're going to continue with the green. Den, $42.75 is the cost, and we need the yards. So this is going to be 45. Multiply again. 5 times 5, 25, 35, 37, 10, 13, 21. Hold with the 0. Multiply with 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2, it's there. 28, 29, 30. Carry the 3, it's there. 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry the 1, it's there. 16, 17. Your next partial product, 171000. Add everything. 3291. Put the decimal in its money. Hundredths here, hundredths there, or just go 2 places here, 2 places there. That's a lot of money. You can put a comma in if you have 4 digits. Okay, so in the thousands place, put a comma. That is green carpet in the den. Now, remember, there's a budget that's going to come into play here, and we have to think about that. But for right now, let's just kind of check out the brown, and we'll go up here. And the brown carpet is $4.95 per square foot. So we're going to use these measurements to multiply by the cost. Now I have some pretty big numbers. I have 405. So if I do the den in brown, that's going to be 405 times 495. So I'm going to put the 495 on the top and the 405 on the bottom, because if I have a 0, I like it to be on the bottom. 5 times 5 is 25, 45, 47, 20 plus 4 is 24. Now, hold the 0 for the ones we're done there, but also put the 0 here because there's nothing in the tens place. Now, go to the third spot. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2, it's there. 36, 37, 38, 3, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now I don't need that third partial product because I held that spot there. So 5, 7, 4, 10, carry the 1 and 2. But it's also money, so put the decimal in. And that's for brown carpet in the den. Okay, that's getting pretty close to her budget, so it's actually kind of expensive. So let's look at the DR, the dining room, but not yards. We're going to use feet. So we'll do 144 for our feet squared, and again times 495. And you can switch the order. They can be on the top or the bottom because they both have the same number of digits. So let's go ahead and multiply. 4 times 5 is 20, 20, and then 2, and then 5 and 7, and then nothing here, so go to the next. That's 36, carry the 3. 36 plus 3 is 39. And then 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, and the next one, 0, 0, and 16, carry the 1 this time, and then 16 plus 1 is 17, and 4 and 1 is 5, and hopefully I calculated correctly and didn't mess anything up. And we'll add 8, 16, 17, 90, hold on one second, 9, 16, 2, start going too fast, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 6, 7. Okay, $712.80. Feeling good about that. So dining room. Now, if you look right here and you see the 2 in the thousands place and the 7 in the hundreds place, can she put brown carpet in both rooms? And you're starting to compare and you go, no. Because if I add these, you can see right away that this is going to be over right here, over budget. So you can continue adding if you want, but you will see that we are over budget. So she cannot do brown carpet in both rooms. Now let's come back over here because this was a little bit more reasonable. So we have the 19, 23, and 75. And if we combine that with the $684 for all green, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 16, and 2, then we come in at 2607, which is just under budget. So she can use all green. Okay, so what are the ways? Emphasis on there must be more than one, or maybe. She can use all green in both rooms. Okay, so that's one solution. But is there anything else? So look at what you have. So this is going to be a no, not all brown. This is a yes. That's all green. But what about a combination? So now you have to think of a combination of the dining room in one and the den in another. So let's look at the numbers. Now, if I have the den, then the dining room has to go with it. Okay, so if I have 2004 and I add the 684 here, so I have brown and green, and notice that I didn't put anything there. You really don't need anything. We would end up with, oops, not 8. I was looking at all the 8s. Look at all the 8s. $2,688.75. Now that's for the brown den and the green dining room. Will that be under her budget? So you're comparing $2,650 to $2,688.75, and this is more, and so that one would also be too much. So our last possible combination is the green den and the brown dining room. And that looks pretty reasonable, and I know it's super tiny, sorry. and then 15, and decimal down, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 16, and ooh, we got $2,636.55, and so that is for the den in green, the green den, and brown dining room. So this monstrous problem comes down to a couple different solutions. She can have all green or one of each. What was that, 15 minutes on one problem? I feel like that's just mean. It's just mean to fifth graders to make them do that. I know adults that would have a tough time with that problem, including myself, when there's so much work. So anyway, don't feel bad if this is a struggle. Just persevere and talk to your friends about it, and maybe sort out the problems and say, you do this part and you do that part. So it's good to share it. Anyway, let's move on, and we'll quickly answer this one. This one is a bit shorter, thank goodness. 3A taxi. 3A taxi charges $1.75 for the first mile. That's a single charge right there. And $1.05 for each additional mile, because you're going to go and go and go. How far could Mrs. Leslie travel for $20? That's your max. If she tips the cab driver $2.50. So look at your one-time costs here. Okay? This is one fee that comes one time at the beginning, and this is one fee that she decides to throw in there at the end. Let's see what the single fees add up to, because we can't do the repeated amount and include that. So that's 12. So $4.25 is going to be what I would call a fixed cost. Okay? Now, how much does she have? She has $20. Minus the fixed cost. Let's find out what she has left. So when you subtract with all these zeros on top, the great thing is to take one and it goes 9, 9, 10. It's all nines in the middle because I could leave one. So it's like take one, give 10. And then you go back to here and you're like, I still can't borrow anything. Take one, give 10. And so you're always taking one. And so you end up taking, and then in the middle it's always nines, and at the end it's a 10. So that's the quick lesson on that. 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 2 is 7, and now all your borrowing is done. So it's super fun to subtract with zeros. Don't forget the 1. So she has $15.75 left to share per mile. Okay, so how far can she go? So let's take the $15.75 and divide by the cost per mile. And if you have done division, you probably forgot because it's been a couple months, but if you've done division with decimals, then you know we always do this little thing. Remember the thought bubble? I think I'll multiply by 100 here, and then I'll multiply by 100 here. So what you do is you move the decimal out. You just move it. And so because we're keeping the ratio the same, it does not change our answer one bit. Not one bit, I'm telling you. So how many times can I fit 105 into 157? One time. Multiply, subtract, compare. This is less, so proceed. And then if I have 525, I can look at that and say, well, gosh, that could be like 5 times 5, and it is. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, that'd be a 0, and then that'd be a 2, and then there's your 5. So 15 would be the additional miles, because that's this here. Don't forget, additional only. That's an abbreviation. That's supposed to be an L. ADD apostrophe L. Miles. So how far could she travel if she tips this? Well, don't forget to click subscribe and come back. Just kidding. That's not the end. I mean, you can click subscribe if you want. But anyway, don't forget the first mile. First mile. Okay, if you don't, you will be one short. So this is the first mile. These are the additional miles. So there is your answer. 16 miles. And that one is much shorter and much more reasonable. So that's the end of this video because these are monster problems. I will have to do more on another video, but there are more problems in these lessons. So someday I will finish these. There's just so much more. But I hope this was helpful. See you on the next one.